Roger might not have won more Grand Slams than Novak. But when it comes to making money, there is only one GOAT. How has Roger made so much more than Novak? And how did he become the first tennis billionaire? It all starts with the brand Uniqlo. 10 years ago, if you mentioned Uniqlo to anyone outside of Japan, you would get a confused look. But mention the brand Uniqlo to any global citizen today, and they will probably be wearing a piece of it. It's affordable and it's fashionable. Roger has a lot to do with that. But why did Roger switch from the behemoth that is Nike? Nike has the monopoly on the top athletes across the world. They own 95.5% of the market. They have had household names like Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, and Rafael Nadal. But one thing Nike has failed to focus on was a tennis signature shoe line. Roger wore the Nike Air Zoom Vapor line in his prime. He even won 18 majors in it. And yet they decided not to name a shoe after him.
I'm a loss for 10.
Imagine the possibility of Nike Federer Air. This would have been up there with Air Jordan, and we know how successful that's been going. No shoe has produced more singles championship wins in the modern age than the Vapor franchise, and to this day it's worn by 81% of Nike athletes. It's puzzling how Roger Federer, who was just as big of a household name globally as Michael Jordan, had no signature line. No disrespect. But John McEnroe even got his own Nike signature shoes, the Mac Attack.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
And look, Nike does a lot for their athletes. Federer was signed at 13 years old. He was an up-and-coming junior, offering a lucrative 5-year contract with performance bonuses, which he exceeded. It was also a stroke of luck for Nike after Sampras and Agassi. Federer turned out to be the next superstar. American Andy Roddick won the US Open in 2003, and Reebok thought they had locked in the next US star. But that didn't happen. Europe became the hotbed of tennis talent. When Federer hit superstardom in 2004, he negotiated a very favorable endorsement deal with Nike. He earned nearly $10 million each year up until 2018. So how did this match made in heaven? The marketing super engine that is Nike and the most lovable and successful tennis player part ways. Well, there is an unwritten rule in the world of sponsorships. You don't spend over 10% of overall revenue on one athlete, and look, Nike had an already loaded roster with Serena, Rafa and Sharapova. Nike simply weren't willing to pay Roger his worth. Federer was free to negotiate with anyone, and it wasn't as if Nike dropped him. They still offered him the same terms and believed their co-creating of the iconic RF logo would keep Roger loyal to them. They were probably right, except for one clause that changed everything. So, what clause am I talking about? I'm talking about a retirement clause. Federer was already at 36 years old, and if Nike had done any bit of research, they would have known he had a knee surgery to fix his meniscus in 2016. Retirement would have been front of mind for Roger. Uniqlo were quick to swoop in. They offered Roger Federer a $300 million deal over 10 years. This was $20 million more per year than Nike. And, yes, there was no retirement clause. Federer would be guaranteed that money even if he retired tomorrow. He would still get $30 million per year until he was 46.
Lost for 10.
So when Federer dropped Nike and rocked the infamous Uniqlo at Wimbledon, it was easy to see why. And look, you might ask why Uniqlo would invest so much money in an athlete well past their prime. The answer is quite simple. They valued Federer's image and style as high as his tennis ability. Federer was unparalleled when it came to fashion. He had attended Met Galas. He appreciated the art of great tailoring and was sporting Rolexes off the court. They knew his influence would reach well past his tennis career. It looks like the deal has turned out very favourable for both parties. And it gets even better for Roger. As you might recall, Federer was still donning Nike shoes when he played in his new trademark Uniqlo apparel. He didn't have a shoe deal. Uniqlo does not do shoes. He wasn't getting paid to wear the Nikes he was playing with his whole career. But this created a new opportunity for Federer. A signature shoe line, something Nike never offered him. And what better place to invent his own brand of shoes? On had been a small Swiss shoe company that were founded on the purpose of engineering a shoe for a single purpose: running. and they were able to quickly produce a running shoe that won over a core customer base of joggers happy to pay $200 for a pair of superior-feeling running shoes. The problem was, their shoes were ugly, and I mean real ugly. They even called the first version Frankenstein. Switzerland is a small country. Roger met with the founders of On, and Roger saw an opportunity in combining his knowledge of fashion, tennis and brand with On's meticulous pursuit of science in designing a revolutionary line of tennis shoes. In 2019, On announced that Federer had invested an undisclosed amount in On. Federer made a bet on On's, including his initial investment and marketing fees. He signed an equity deal worth around 3% of the business and became a global ambassador for the Swiss brand. This bet has paid off big time. Roger has made $130 million in prize money from tennis and makes around $100 million annually in endorsements post-tennis. On Running went public in 2021 and the business is valued at $10 billion. This means Federer's net worth grew by about $300 million. But the craziest part is that this equity deal with On is the one that will make him the first tennis billionaire. Roger and On are now challenging Nike for athletes. Big names like Iga Swiatek and rising young star Ben Shelton are on the roster, and it's only a matter of time until they start releasing their signature shoes. So whilst Novak might be ahead in Grand Slams, Roger is continuing his legacy off the court and breaking new records. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Comment if you think Novak will be able to match Roger in this feat.